The Sama-Bajaw languages are a well-established group of languages spoken by the Bajau and Sama peoples of the Philippines, Indonesia and Malaysia. They are mainly spoken on Borneo and the Sulu Archipelago between Borneo and Mindanao. Languages. Grimes identifies 9 Sama-Bajaw languages. Balangjingi, Central Sama, Southern Sama, Pangataran Sama, Mapun, Yakan Abanon, Indonesian Bajau, West Coast Bajau. The first 7 are spoken in the Sulu region of the southern Philippines. Indonesian Bajau is spoken mainly in Sulawesi and West Coast Bajau in Sabah, Borneo. Several dialects of the languages can be identified. Plus states that lexical evidence indicates that Sama-Bajaw originated in the Barito region of southeast Borneo, though not from any established group of Barito languages. Ethnologue has followed, calling the resulting group Greater Barito. Grammar. Voice. Western Austronesian languages are characterized by symmetrical voice alternations. These differ from asymmetrical voice alternations, such as active and passive, since the voices can be considered equally transitive. Hence the terms active voice and undergo a voice are sometimes used. Active voice refers to the construction in which the actor or agent-like argument is mapped to subject. Undergo a voice refers to the construction in which the undergoer or patient-like argument is mapped to subject. The voice construction is signaled through morphological marking on the verb. Western Austronesian languages are typically subdivided into Philippine-type and Indonesian-type languages on the basis of the voice system. The voice alternations in Sama-Bajaw languages have some characteristics of Philippine-type languages and some characteristics of Indonesian-type languages. Miller says that there are 3 main voice alternations in Sama-Bajaw: an active voice construction marked with a nasal prefix, a transitive non-AV construction with the bare verb, another non-AV construction with morphological marking on the verb and case marking on the agent. In many Philippine languages, the UV construction is said to be basic. This has led people to analyze the languages as syntactically ergative. This analysis has been proposed for Sama Southern Jakan, Sama Bangjingi, and Sama Pangataran. These languages are said to have Philippine-type voice systems. West Coast Bajau, however, is said to have an Indonesian-type voice system because there are 2 transitive voices, a true passive construction and an applicative suffix. This makes West Coast Bajau more similar to the languages of Sarawak and Kalimantan than the other languages of Sabah. Indonesian Bajau also has an Indonesian-type voice system as illustrated below. Active voice bare undergo a voice passive accidental passive. In some Sama-Bajaw languages there are restrictions on how the non-AV actor is realized. For example, in Sama Bangjingi, the non-AV actor is typically a pronominal clitic in first or second person. The voice alternations in Sama-Bajaw languages can also be accompanied by a change in the case marking of pronouns and a change in word order. Case marking. Sama-Bajaw languages do not have case marking on nominal arguments. Nonetheless, pronouns have different forms depending on the grammatical function. Like the languages of Sarawak, West Coast Bajau has 2 different pronoun sets. Set 1, non-subject actors. Set 2, all other pronouns. In contrast, most of the languages of Sabah have 3 sets of pronouns. Set 1, non-subject actors. Set 2, subjects. Set 3, non-subject, non-actors. In West Coast Bajau, the non-subject undergoer can be optionally realized using both the Set 1 and the Set 2 pronouns. 0 and afra is possible for highly topical arguments, except the UV actor, which cannot be deleted. This is common across Western Austronesian languages. Word order. Like the languages of the Philippines, the Sama-Bajaw languages in the Sulu tend to be verb initial. However, in most languages word order is flexible and depends on the voice construction. In the Sulu, SVO is only found in the context of preposed negatives and aspect markers. In West Coast Bajau, on the other hand, SVO word order is also found in pragmatically neutral contexts. This, again, makes West Coast Bajau more similar to the languages of Sarawak than the other languages of the Sama-Bajaw group. Vigent suggests that the Bajau language spoken in the Lesser Sunda Islands has no fixed position of the subject but is fixed verb. The language has several properties that are said to correlate with VO word order: prepositions, noun genitive, noun relative, noun adjective, noun demonstrative, preverbal negatives, initial subordinators. The preferred word orders for 5 Sama-Bajaw languages are shown below. The word order is represented in terms of the semantic roles, actor and undergoer. In all Sama-Bajaw languages, the position of the actor is fixed, directly following the verb in the 0-UV construction. Elsewhere, the order of actor and undergoer depends on the animacy of the arguments. This could be seen to follow the Philippine tendency to place actors first in the clause. If we rephrase these orders in terms of grammatical function, a number of Sama-Bajaw languages could be said to be VOS languages. S is equivalent to the actor in AV and the undergoer in UV. O is equivalent to the non-subject core argument. Word order and information structure. Variant word orders are permitted in Sama-Bajaw languages. The different word orders have different information structure interpretations. This differs depending on the voice of the clause. Miller suggests that verb initial order in West Coast Bajau UV clauses strongly correlates with foregrounding. He argues that this is the basic word order given that the undergoer in final position does not have a specific pragmatic status. In contrast, fronted undergoers are highly active and accessible. Both SVO and VOS orders occur with equal frequency in narrative texts, though VOS is highly preferred in foregrounded clauses. AV clauses are predominantly subject initial regardless of grounding. In fact, SVO is the only word order permitted in subordinate clauses, where verb initial clauses in AV do occur. However, they typically represent key sequences of action in the storyline. There are also specificity effects in AV verb initial word order. VOS is acceptable when the non-subject undergoer is non-specific, but sometimes considered unacceptable if the undergoer is specific. The same is true for definite undergoers. However, the effects are not found when the word order is VSO and the undergoer is in final position. In this case, the structure is grammatical regardless of whether the undergoer is definite, specific or not. Topic and focus. In West Coast Bajau, it is possible for subjects, obliques and adjuncts to appear pre-verbally. Only non-subject arguments cannot appear in this position. Miller suggests that there are two positions pre-verbally: topic and focus. Topic represents presupposed information, whilst focus represents new information. In both AV and UV clauses, the pre-verbal subjects can be either topic or focus. Obliques, on the other hand, are always focus. Consequently, Miller analyzes the clause structure of West Coast Bajau as follows. Pragmatic structure of West Coast Bajau. The pre-verbal focus position can be followed by focus particles such as no,